I would like to ask if Dolores Cannon is around or is willing to come through, because before we start this session, I felt an impulse that she might want to bring a message through. So I would like to ask if this is the case, and if so, if she would be willing to come through and connect with us.
Hello, 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 hello. How are you?
Hello, Dolores. What a pleasure. What an honor. Thank you so much for coming through.
It's wonderful because I don't often get these opportunities, and it's really, really quite funny, because I don't often do this, but isn't it wonderful when it does happen? It's really, I'm going to say, a pleasure to sometimes be able to share. And thank you so much because you did use my script. So you were paying attention. So you did what I asked you to do. So that's a really great thing. Now, what is it that I wanted to share with you or to share with others? And it's just to remind them that it's very, very important to remember, even in these days and times, that which we think is against our greatest good or our expression really is, there is no good or bad. There is simply a play out, and there is something that we are here to learn and to experience. So we have to do away with this, I don't want to call it judgment, but that there are no victims. This is happening because there needs to be that evolution, and there is very much another Earth happening at the same time, simultaneously, and this other Earth is where a lot of the unfoldment will continue, whereas this Earth, it's a little bit denser, it's a little bit, not slower, but simply wanting to go in a direction that it needs to do for its own evolution. So the new Earth is where we need to also send our energy, and to understand that this is simply a passing phase, that what is happening on the planet right now will also be for the evolution of the planet itself, not just the inhabitants, but the planet, because the planet does have the ability to evolve. And sometimes there is de-evolvement, if you know what I mean, that the planet will go in a different direction for whatever purpose that serves. So we need to sometimes stop the judgment, and we also need to choose which planet we are going to be spending time on, because there is a new Earth.
Oh, wow. So you have already shared this many of these things that you are saying now already with us in your work, about saying about that there are really no victims. So I'm very glad that you bring this up once again, as we are really seemingly entering this very challenging phase of this process of ascension, as we call it. And you were mentioning in your work about the split between the old and the new earth. Is this what is occurring right now?
This is what only isn't occurring, has occurred. It's already happened. It's just that we haven't quite shifted into the new earth, and there will be those that will shift and there will be those that will not. And it's not that one is better than the other, it's just simply a process of movement, moving where you have a better understanding or a stronger place, whereas those that will not be left behind but choose to stay behind will do so because that's part of their journey and their evolution, because they need to learn something. And for what they need to learn, they're not to interfere and hinder those that have already understood and need to move to where they can continue to grow.
So to understand this a little bit better, perhaps whoever might hear this message, if we have permission to share this with the world, is it that they are, because you said the shift has already occurred, so the new earth is already in place, so to say, so
there is a new earth already, yes, it's already there. And the transition, though, from one earth to the other is in process. So the transition hasn't happened. It's simply that the new earth has happened. The earth that we are on here, this is going to go in a different direction. So there are inhabitants on this earth that need to be on this earth and stay on this earth. So they will remain on this earth until such time that they too will be ready to grow and to move to, I don't want to say a better place, but I just want to say a more suitable time for them to move.
So how one then moves into the new earth? Is it something that we can do, or is it something that has already been decided? How is this going to play out?
Some of it will play out simply when people pass and incarnate, and for some people they won't even pass. They will just simply shift in their frequency and they will already be there. So it's a case of appreciating that there will be those such as yourself. And this one too, she's a way shower, you're a way shower, you're showing the way and you're helping those transitions because you're bringing that understanding so that alignments can occur, clearing can occur, like the energy of people who are on the planet can be raised to such an extent that they just naturally will gravitate over. And the gravitation is happening when they pass, but also when they shift their frequency to such a level that they vibrate high enough and that they no longer vibrate here. It's not to say that others haven't already reached that frequency, it's just not their time to move across. And that will be different for each one when the time is for them to move. That's not for me to say. There were waves of volunteers that came here to assist. And just like there is going to be waves of people leaving here to move over, whereas there will be those that will remain behind.
So the old and new earth, are they now overlapping? And is one able?
Yes, that's a very good way to put it. That's exactly how they are. They are overlapping. Okay. And that's why for some, it will just simply be, it'll be an easy transition. Whereas for others, they will actually need to pass in order to pass over onto the new earth. Then there will be those that will remain. They will remain here on this one. They will not be moving over anytime soon. Whether they do that at a later time, that is of their choosing and of their growth. They may never move over. That could happen as well, that it's not for them.
Yeah, yeah. And there's no judgment, it's their choice and their soul grows and the lessons they need to learn.
That's right. That's exactly what it is about. It's about their lessons, their growth.
You said something earlier and it gave me major goosebumps because you mentioned the people who are now exiting, passing over in order to reincarnate to the what we call the new earth. And I just got goosebumps thinking, is this why there are so many people exiting right now?
That's exactly why.
Wow.
That's exactly why, because it's their time and they no longer have a need to stay here, but
Yes.
they do have a need to be there, be able to build.
So their mission, the ones who, some, okay, of course we cannot talk about all of them, but perhaps many of them, their mission was complete and they chose this exit, this way.
That's right. That's exactly right. And yet there will be others who won't choose to exit like that. They will simply just phase. They'll phase over because their frequency will be such that they will no longer be of the right frequency for here. And some of that has to do with who they actually are, because there were different beings that came and incarnated, and they can easily move across without having to exit in that same way. They can exist here and there, and when they have the need, they will just simply already be there.
Wow, that's really amazing what you say. And this is what exactly I was thinking a few days ago, because I'm seeing the drama being unfolding on the planet, and I was wondering if I'm on the wrong timeline. I know it sounds funny, but
you still have work to do here. You have to help that transition, because you're helping the transition.
yes,
Then you can't leave right now.
yes.
And it's no different with this one too. This one has work to do. She's going to help the transition.
Wow, wow, incredible! This is exactly what I received. Oh, wow. Is it true that you are close to the vessel that you speak through?
We've known each other before. That's why there's a familiarity. We've known each other before.
Is anything you want to share directly to her? Personally, I mean, for her.
I would just encourage her to do my work, of course. However, I also think she's got some of her own work to do, which she should be getting on with and doing.
Fantastic. This is what I wanted to hear. That's what I was intuitively receiving, and I was hoping that it is true and that you would bring it on the table.
Well, if that's what you needed to hear, then that's what you both need to know.
Amazing, Dolores. I love you so much, and I appreciate you, and I honor you, and I respect you, and I'm so grateful for everything that you do and that you are.
Thank you very much. It is always a joy to be able to have the opportunities to speak this way and to share. And who would have known when I started being a scribe that it would unfold like this. It's so exciting. It really, really is. I just get so pleased.
And before I let you go, is there any last message you have for us, for the whole world, or maybe for only for your practitioners, whatever you want to share?
Well, I would be saying to the practitioners that they really do need to start working with helping that transition. That transition to the new earth is really, really important to be able to support each other, but to support those who need to move and to really encourage that message that the earth is overlapping, the two earths are overlapping. There is no judgment whether you go or whether you stay, because there will be those that you will meet that you will discover are not ready. There will be those that will come, perhaps not to you, but to some of the other practitioners. And, if they're not ready, they're not ready.
Sure. So your practitioners, besides already assisting by, of course.
Yes. The work enables people to be able to connect and find exactly which transition they need to make, whether it's a transition over, whether it's staying, or whether it's phasing.
Okay, so it gives them more clarity on their path.
Yes, it does.
And on their mission, on their individual role in this.
We all have a role, but some of our roles are to stay behind. And there will be some that will surprise us who stays behind. And sometimes it's simply because that's their path of service for now.
Yes.
Again, everything is happening as it's meant to happen, even though we don't always want things perhaps quite like that. Sometimes, we would choose differently if we could, but we've chosen what is right for us, for our learning, for our journey.
Yeah. I have a last question before we let you go, and this is it's just curiosity which is driving me, and that's why I love you, because you are driven also by curiosity. So I will go ahead and ask the question, which is, if you are planning to reincarnate on the new earth.
Now that one you will have to wait.
Okay.
That one, not right now. That's not a question for right now.
I know. I'm just I'm following my playful curiosity.
And good for you. However, you will just need to wait. And some of it is about timing. The time's right.
Yeah. Okay, Dolores. Is there any closing message you have for us?
I just want to say what a wonderful, wonderful opportunity it is to speak with you. And you keep doing the work that you're doing. You do such good work. You really, really do. It brings me joy that you are able to do this. And I appreciate that you also listen when I speak to you, because sometimes there are those that I speak to and they don't listen. So thank you for listening.
Dolores, I love you. I love you so much. Thank you so much for this honor and for coming through. And I look forward to speak to you again.
We will speak again. We will.
Okay, so bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.